What's going on, everybody? It's your man Sega Man back here with another video, and we're going to do a video today of some of my favorite and dreamcast games. You know, last week we were supposed to do a podcast on it, but we had to wait for our brother Unlimited One Productions to join us this weekend in doing. I don't think we're doing the dreamcast anymore. I think that we might be. I think it might be a little different, this podcast, some topics we're going to talk about. I didn't see Dreamcast in there, so maybe they're holding off on that. We'll see, because there's been some pretty good topics that came up. I wanted to do the Dreamcast this weekend, but maybe we'll wait and see, or maybe we'll implement it into the podcast on the Exile Podcast. Come and check us out on the Exile Podcast on my brother E-Rock's channel, the Donkey of Xbox, E-Rock X. 8 p.m. on Sunday. Come and check out the Exile Podcast with my brothers, with Hebot, Unlimited One Productions, Tuckmaster, myself, E-Rock, Unlimited One Productions, man. Everybody, we have fun, we rock on it, and we do giveaways. We still do giveaways every other week. So, come on, I just did a giveaway, you know what I mean? So, whoever's next will be doing it. But yeah, come in and rock out with us, man, on there. But I don't want to make the video too long, but I want to talk to you guys about the Sega Dreamcast. It's one of my, almost my favorite Sega system ever made. But to be honest with you guys, my favorite Sega system ever made is the Sega Genesis of all time. Sega Genesis is my favorite Sega system of all time. The Dreamcast is right up there with the Sega Saturn, you know. I would say the Sega Saturn is my second. My Dreamcast is the third. You know what I mean? But I love Dreamcast still today. I really miss the Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast was awesome. I own both versions of the Dreamcast. I have the white one and I have the black one, the sports edition one. You know what I mean? I have that one too. I actually have that one hooked up, but I'm not going to. I don't want to really show that. I don't want to unhook it. But I have the white one. But if we do talk about Dreamcast this weekend, I might put on my camera and show you the original Dreamcast in its box. Take it out and show you real quick on the podcast, or some games. You know, I have more games. You know, nothing's going to be ruined for when we do the Dreamcast thing, but I just wanted to talk about some of the great games that came out for the Sega Dreamcast, guys. I highly recommend, if you're going to start collecting for Genesis systems, one of the ways to go, honestly, would probably be the Dreamcast. Now, there's a lot of games now that are very expensive, especially the fighting games. Like, I'm not going to show you all the fight. I have a lot of fighting games. That are very expensive right now. You know what I mean? Really, really went up in price. You know what I mean? But there's also games you can collect for that doesn't cost really that much, I don't think, anymore. I haven't checked the gaming forum or anything like that on them. Sometimes I'll check Amazon and places like that, eBay or whatever. You know what I mean? I'll check places like that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to show you guys a few games that I have in my Dreamcast collection. I hope you guys enjoy the video. One of them, which is a great game by Acclaim, is called, it's a really good game. It's kind of scary, kind of gory, gritty game. Pretty awesome game. And that is Shadow Man. Shadow Man is a great game by Acclaim. It came out for the Dreamcast. You know what I mean? It's a very, very scary game. Graphically, at the time, these games are 128-bit. The Sega Dreamcast was a 128-bit system. You know what I mean? There's a little thing in here. I don't even know what this is. Let's see what this is real quick. I don't. This might have came with it. I don't remember this being in there. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, I think it's like a little, I don't know if it's a little poster that came with, yeah, it's a map. It's actually the map, I think. The map showing you the map of the game. You know what I mean? The places and stuff like that. And then it has um, live side levels. You know what I mean? Did side level. You know, the gates and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a little map that actually came with the game. But Shadow Man, it reminds me of the one game on the Xbox, and I can't think of it right now. I can't think of what the game is called, where the guy's in prison and he's fighting all these creatures and shit. I can't remember the name of the game right now. It's a really good game. I can't remember the name of the game right now, but it's a really good game that was on the OG Xbox. But Shadow Man is pretty good. It kind of got a little looked over because of other games that came out for the Dreamcast. But if you like scary games, you know what I mean. This was really good, and at the time it was pretty goddamn gory. I could see if I could show you the back of it a little better. My lighting is not that great down here, but you can see like the guy walking around with no head. You know what I mean? But it's a pretty decent game to get into. Now, the next one I want to show you here is a really great game that I actually kept playing over and over again on the Dreamcast. It reminds me of Silent Scope, kind of, and it kind of reminds me of Virtual Cop. And that is, it's called Confidential Mission. This is another great game that came out for the Dreamcast. Confidential Mission is a great game. It's a great shooting game. I can't remember how much I paid for this game. I think it was $8. I can't remember. But there's also another game in here called, and I don't have this game, called Out Trigger. I don't know. I can't remember this game. I don't know if this game was good, but you'll see a little advertisement in here called Out Trigger. Now, I can't remember. Maybe I'll probably research it when I'm done with my video, but that looked like that might be pretty interesting. But Confidential Mission is a great game. If you like games like Silent Scope, Die Hard, games like, Virtual Cop. This is really good. It's a good successor to those games. It's a great game. It looks good graphically for the time, and it's really awesome. And it's really challenging. It'll keep you coming back for more. But it is a really good game. Confidential Mission for your Dreamcast. Now, I don't think some of those games, like I told you, I don't think some of them are that expensive. You have to do your research. You have to search on Amazon, eBay, or whatever. But you might be able to get some of those games where it's just a disc, unfortunately. You might be able to get it for $3 or $4, maybe $5, and just make your own cover and shelling for the game. Now, the next one we have here, which is a great game, one of the most recognizable games for the system. And I really wish they would really redo this game and come to the Xbox. I would love to see us on an Xbox One X or Series X or S. I really wish they would really redo this by Sega. And that is Zombies Revenge. Zombies Revenge is another great Dreamcast game. Man, the light's killing you, huh? Another great Sega Dreamcast game. I beat this game, and it is awesome. Really awesome game for the time. The zombies are very, very, very detailed in there. A lot of good creation the developers did with the zombies. All the characters have their own personalities and are different. You know what I mean? It is a great game, guys. So if you could find it and you get a Dreamcast, definitely pick it up. It is very fun. It's a fun game. And I wish they would bring this IP back. You know what I mean? If you hear me out there, Phil and company, Xbox, try to get this game from Sega or try to bring it back because it is an awesome game. You can't go wrong, guys, with Zombie Revenge. It's a good zombie shooter. It's a really awesome game, guys. Like I said, if you get a Dreamcast, pick it up. It's a great game. Now, this game I'm about to show you here, all right, another good game for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, it's by Capcom, okay? This game, I don't think they made it for the new systems. It has, like, heavy metal tracks on it, you know what I mean? It's a shooter kind of slash game, gore game, and that is the game called Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal for the Dreamcast. Not a, damn, that light's killing me. Not a bad game. You know what I mean? Heavy Metal. Let me put it closer. It's not a bad game. You know what I mean? I picked this up for a few dollars a long time ago. But Heavy Metal is a great game, guys. If you like I said, games that are run and gun, shoot, you know what I mean? It has like these hardcore metal tracks in there if you're into metal or whatever. You know what I mean? The graphics were pretty decent for that time being, too, for the game, Heavy Metal. Let me know in the comment sections below if you ever even played this game and you own a Dreamcast, and tell me what you think about it. Now, I didn't really get to finish this game at all. I played it for a little while, and then I moved on to something else. So I can't really go into detail with you about the whole game. But from what I played, it's a great game that has shooting in it, very violent type game, and it's a really good game from what I played so far. So if you want to know more about it, do your research on it. Heavy Metal, man, looks good, from Capcom. Now we're going to get into a couple fighters, and then I'm going to end the video. The Dreamcast, to be honest with you guys, the Saturn, in my opinion, had the best fighting games, in my opinion, on it back in the PlayStation days. I'm not saying PlayStation didn't have great fighters, but when it came to arcade ports like Children of the Atom, the Street Fighter Alpha series, Darkstalkers, Last Bronx, all kind of games like that for the Sega Saturn. Last Bronx wasn't on the PlayStation, but the other games I told you, they were actually better and played better on the Sega Saturn. I'm just being honest with you, they did. Some of the games I have from my PlayStation 1 I have on my Sega Saturn, and I played them both, and it just performs better on the Sega Saturn. You know what I mean? Not saying the PlayStation 1s, you can't enjoy those versions, but there was very good difference in some of those games when you would play them side by side. But the Dreamcast is the god system, and the mecca of fighting games, to be honest with you. It is the Dreamcast. You know what I mean? And one of the best games that came out for the Dreamcast, guys, that you can pick up, it's probably a little expensive right now, is Capcom versus SNK. This is a great game to get for your Dreamcast. Capcom versus SNK is a great game to own for your Dreamcast, man. I played this for hours and hours and hours and hours, man, when I got this game. I probably played this till 1, 2 in the morning. You know what I mean? It is a great fighting game to add to your Sega Dreamcast collection. Capcom versus SNK. The first time they came together, I think, if I'm right, the first time they came together and they both collided to make Capcom versus SNK. It is a great game, guys. You're missing out if you don't pick us up for your Dreamcast. Yes, you can find more of these games on the OG Xbox, your PlayStation 2 and all that, and beyond. And I don't remember if it was 360 or PlayStation 3. But on the Dreamcast, man, this is a kick-ass game. A really, really good game. Graphical backgrounds are awesome. Sound effects are awesome. They did an awesome job with Capcom versus SNK. This is a game you definitely need to pick up if you can on the cheap. Now, that's my phone, guys. You know, I have a really good security system. You know what I'm saying? So if anything comes by my house, my camera records it and goes off like that. You know what I'm saying? Just I like security. You know what I mean? I have other things that are security, but I can't talk about that on here. It's about gaming. So now these are 2 games I'm doing for my man, my boy, my G100, because 100 likes these games. He gets them on the Xbox One, and I get them too. You know what I mean? But he likes the King of Fighters. So we're going to do 2 games, King of Fighter games, and one is called King of Fighters Dream Match 1999. Now, this is a great game on the Dreamcast. Now, I believe you can. I'm not sure how cheap this is now. My lighting's terrible, guys. I know I'm going to have to fix that next time. But this is a really good King of Fighters game. Now, when they reviewed this back in the day, they didn't like the graphics. They said the graphics could have been better. There's a ton of characters in Dream Match 99. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it on the Dreamcast. You know what I mean? It played well. Okay, the graphics might have been a little, you know, I guess a little choppy. Okay, but it's a great game. You know what I mean? It's not taken away from your fun factor. You know what I mean? But it is a great game, guys. Check out King of Fighters Dream Match 1999. You know, if you get a Dreamcast and you can play with your buddy, you know what I mean? It's a great game. 100 loves the King of Fighter games, you know what I mean? So I wanted to do this for him, you know what I mean? And it is by SNK, and you probably can find this cheaper at maybe $15. It all depends on where you're looking. But it's a great fighting game. Now, the last one, then I'm going to end this video, is the King of Fighters Evolution that came out on the Sega Dreamcast. This is another great King of Fighters game that came out on there. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, I think this one is costs a little more than the one I showed you. You know what I mean? But I picked these games up when Dreamcast was, you know, getting ready to say bye-bye. I picked these up very cheap. You know what I mean? I missed the Dreamcast. It hurt me for them to go away. It really did. And when the Xbox came out, it really honestly lifted my spirits because, in my opinion, I always said this before I did podcasts, before I really got super into videos. The original OG Xbox is the Dreamcast 2. It is. It's the Dreamcast 2. You know what I mean? But the King of Fighters Evolution is a great fighting game, guys. It is an awesome game. That's what the cover and the disc looks like. Another great fighting game that you can play with your family members, your kids, your friends might come over, your boy have a couple bears, beat each other up, you know, in the game. It's an awesome game, or whatever. If you smoke or whatever, that's whatever you do, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's a good fighting game. I played it for hours when I had my Dreamcast. There's a ton of characters in this. You know what I mean? But it is a great game, and I did these last two for my boy 100. So, you know, I just wanted to do a quick video talking about some of the games that I have for my Dreamcast. So I'm going to get going, but if we do, when we do our podcast, if we do some Dreamcast stuff, you know what I'm saying? I will be talking more about it to my exile brothers. There's a lot more I want to talk about on the show than what I showed you here. It's not going to ruin that at all because I have a lot that I have to talk about with the Dreamcast and what else I would like to show and different games I want to talk about dealing with the Dreamcast even today. There's games still being made for the Sega Dreamcast. That's how much love there is out there for the Dreamcast. Really good homebrew games are being made for the Dreamcast, and they're very, very well done. But I'm going to get going, guys. You know what I'm saying? I want to say real quick before I end my video, thanks for subscribing to me. I really appreciate everybody that's subscribed to me, man. Shouts out to my exile brothers, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to 100 Intro Media Gaming with the whole crew over there at Xbox Got No Games. Check them out Saturday nights around 11 p.m. Check them out with Livewire, Flip the Script, Flip Money, Chaos. You know what I'm saying? All them brothers over there. I want to give a shout out to Punisher too, that be with them. Punisher's a cool brother. Shout out to my boy Vaca. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Vaca? You know, and shouts out to the true Xbox gaming community. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to them. You know what I'm saying? If they support me, I support them. You know, some people, you know, people change. You know what I mean? But you support who supports you. Whoever shot you out, you shot them out. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. Shouts out to my man, Hebot. What's up, brother? Hope everything's good. You know what I'm saying? Tuck Master, what's up, brother? E-Rock, Unlimited, all my brothers out there. T-Reaper, Fire Boss, where you at, man? T-Reaper, if you see this video, tell Fire Boss, man, I want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him in a while. Just want to make sure he's all right. He's still my brother. You know what I'm saying? So if you see this video, T-Reaper, tell Fire Boss to get a hold of me, man. I would really appreciate that. And I want to give a shout out to a couple of the girl gamers out there. El Boogie, shouts out to El Boogie. You know what I'm saying? El Boogie's cool. You know, I really dig El Boogie. She's cool, you know. Shouts out to her and her crew. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Mama Sita. You know, she's a true girl gamer. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to her. Shouts out to Rogue. You know what I'm saying? Rogue is cool. She does her thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, she be on Xbox. You know what I mean? Shouts out to her. And shouts out to everybody, the true gamers out here in the gaming community, man. I really appreciate all who rocks out with me. I love you guys, and I want to just say thank you very much, honestly, for supporting my channel. You know, I really appreciate it, man. Look, I'm only a small channel. I'm not looking for no fame here. I just like to talk about gaming, talk about my collection. You know what I'm saying? And my gaming systems and stuff. I don't need fame. You know what I mean? I got family. I don't need fame. Family is my fame. You dig what I'm saying? You know, I don't need to make money on here. I have my own job, and I'm saying I'm good. You know what I mean? But if that's what people do, do what you do. You do you. You know what I'm saying? If our channel gets big, the Exile Podcast, our channel, we will never ever forget where we come from. You know what I'm saying? We will never forget where we come from. You can put a bet on that. All right. So peace and love, guys. Xbox for life. We don't die. We multiply. Peace.